Welcome to the Simply Incredible podcast. This is Daryl, a.k.a. The D, with Troy Champney.
Hey, what's up, brother?
And JPZ Inc.
Danish girl.
Danish girl. And our good friend, another black belt. That's four of us now, Andre Sadler. Awesome, Dre. Welcome to the group. Okay, calm down, Dre. We'll get to you. And tonight, we're going to talk about TV series. Some that ended great, some that ended horribly. There's a lot of great series out there, and I kind of put them into three groups. One you remember for great things, one you remember for bad things, and one you just remember.
Yeah, I kind of did the same. Yeah.
But first, before we get into that, we're going to talk about some guys that passed away, and we were actually going to do this last week, but weather prevented us. Start with Alan Rickman. Rickman. He's German, Rickman.
Okay.
And we'll pay him respect. The body is not even cold yet.
Yes. And look, I'm choking over here. He's got so many iconic roles. I mean, we got Die Hard, Robin Hood, Galaxy Quest, Harry Potter, and just.
I loved him in Galaxy Quest. I love that movie, period. But I loved him in that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what was y'all's favorite right off the bat?
What, of him?
Yeah.
Die Hard all the way from me.
Yeah, I would have to say
Gruber.
that.
Yeah.
That was my favorite too, but I heard a lot of people really going to Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Professor Snape.
Yeah.
And I started watching the whole series again. I'm through 3 movies, and like he really was great in that.
Those are great movies, but I don't know why I didn't connect with them like so big. Like I was a huge fan. I watched them all with my son, and we enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. But it's not something. It's not like man, I got to see that marathon again.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I watched them all, but I couldn't recall specific moments if you brought them up.
I mean, I've got back into them again. I do enjoy them.
Yeah,
they
were all really good.
I got some friends. Every time a movie comes out, they go and grab that book. And they've already reread the book, go out and watch the movie.
Did you read any of the books?
No, I haven't.
I'll do that with the Tolkien movies, though, Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit and stuff. Like, as they came out, I read that trilogy and everything.
Man, you know what? I wish I would have. I didn't.
Yeah.
That would have been good.
That's a lot of literature.
That is a lot of no picture literature.
And another man that passed away last week now, David Bowie. From The Labyrinth. I'll always remember him from The Labyrinth.
Oh, dude. Fantastic stuff.
I mean, when he sang, was it Magic Dance? Love that in that movie.
I always confuse Labyrinth with the other movie, kind of, like Legend with Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
That I always get those two kind of mixed up.
I love that movie too. I've got an action figure of the devil in that, the Prince of Darkness.
That thing was wild looking as a kid, man.
Oh, dude, when I first saw it, I mean, that is my actual image of Satan.
Oh yeah,
Tim
me
Curry.
too. Me too. Yeah.
Wow,
that was great.
Yeah, and
it kind of threw me off too. The first time I saw it, I was like, wow, this got real.
It's got the hoofs going and everything.
Wow.
Then for MotorHead, Lemmy.
Lemmy.
You know his last name?
No,
Everybody knows him as Lemmy. His last name is Kilmeister.
Wow.
But so many people know his music. He's so iconic in the hard rock music, the metal. The WWE universe knows him as the man who plays Triple H's entrance music.
Oh yeah.
Time to play the game. And one other person that passed on this week, and for us older generation, Grizzly Adams, Dan Haggerty.
Did you ever watch that? Like, were you a regular when you were a kid watching?
Oh yeah,
that? I did too.
Yeah.
I love that.
Do you know the actual backstory of that movie?
No.
The whole story of the movie?
No. Well, I know this TV show. I don't know.
It was like they had a movie first, then the TV show came later, like 2 years later.
Oh,
they decided,
I didn't know that.
But it was kind of basically the A-Team. He was framed for something he didn't do, so he moved out into the woods, and when people got in trouble in the woods, he helped them out.
How about that?
Because I didn't remember that. I just remember him being in the woods with animals and stuff, and people would come in and help him out. I did not remember the other part of that story.
I still remember being a kid and seeing the first episode of that show and thinking, this is so cool. This guy is going to go out in the woods with an axe, a hatchet, and he's going to say, nope, I'm done with the world. If the lawman comes, I'm running again. But he chopped down the trees, made a log cabin, had a big Grizzly Adams buddy, Grizzly Bear buddy. I mean, man, that was awesome as a kid. Rest in peace, Dan.
Yeah. A lot of people also don't know this. He was the first member of the Duck Dynasty.
Oh,
with the big old beard.
Him a ducky.
That's a joke.
Dude.
Trey, calm down. And question of the week. What you got, Troy?
Well, I'll tell you what. We're all martial artists. One of the things that we love is movies, of course. Martial art movies. What's your favorite martial art movie star and favorite martial art movie?
That's a good one.
Because we're gonna do a whole podcast on that and see if we can't bring like in our top ones, top choices.
There's so many to choose from.
There's so many. I mean, and then you got to say, hey, is it gonna be directly just a martial art movie thing, or movies that have martial arts in them? Because now that's every movie.
Any action movie.
So many of them.
Can't wait.
I'm going right off the bat with Poe.
Oh,
Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah, he's a great one.
Yes, he is.
He's the dragon.
iconic.
He's legend. Wait for it. We'll get back to that later.
That's right.
Shut up, Dre.
Dre's he's on the ball today. He's on the ball. So we start off with, y'all want to start with the great TV shows with a bad ending or a good ending first?
Let's go bad endings first.
Bad ending. You got dibs on it?
Oh, sure.
JP's got dibs on it.
First one I want to talk about is Chuck. I actually hadn't heard of Chuck until you introduced me to it.
Yeah, he actually watched something that I introduced him to. That's kind of odd.
Yeah.
How long ago did you start watching it?
When did Dexter end? 3 or 4 years
Oh, okay,
ago?
that recent.
Dexter actually had the date on it. September 22nd, 2013.
So yeah, I probably watched Chuck around 2012 maybe. So yeah, I started watching it because I was watching Dexter and Yvonne Strahovski. I'm sure
The Strahati, as I call
destroyed
her.
that name. Yeah,
Unreal, though.
Yeah, she
Unreal.
is a beautiful woman. And, like her in Dexter was just like, oh my gosh, she is the most beautiful thing. And Dee was like, that's nothing, dude. Check her out in Chuck. So I gave it a shot. Sarah Walker. And from the very first episode, man, that show just gripped me 100%. It's this just unassuming kind of nerdy guy that works in basically Best Buy. Have you seen it, Troy?
I saw the first couple of episodes, but because I teach every night, I wasn't there to see it, so I just kind of slipped through.
Yeah, I didn't see it live. I watched the whole thing through Netflix. But yeah, this just unassuming nerdy guy, and he just falls for this beautiful supermodel looking girl, and just watching their relationship progress over the years, because it took a while. It was probably like season 2 halfway, maybe even season 3.
I think it's in season 3 before they really started getting together.
Yeah.
Now, how many seasons did they do?
It's
It was
5.
5.
Oh, wow,
4.
that's more than I thought.
4 and
Yeah.
maybe a last one.
Yeah, exactly.
The last season, that's where the ending
Well,
goes
let's actually
bad.
talk about this first.
All right.
Chuck was just a regular guy working at the Buy More.
Yeah.
And then one of his friends worked in the CIA.
Uh-huh.
And he got what they call the intersect. And he knew that Chuck, they met each other at Stanford.
Yeah, they were college roommates.
And
Right.
Chuck is a genius, basically. Really, really
Super
smart.
smart guy. He never applied himself. He was working at basically the equivalent of Best Buy. They called it Buy More.
Gotcha.
Instead of,
Buy More.
Yeah, they had the Nerd Herd instead of the Geek Squad.
Right, exactly.
So, and he the guy from the CIA, Bryce Larkin,
Yeah.
he sent him this thing called the intersect.
He was getting ready to get captured, and he had to get rid of it. So first thing he thought of, send it to Chuck. And Chuck kind of got it like subliminally flashed in his brain. So he doesn't even know he knows this stuff.
Like, he will see something, all of a sudden pictures just start flashing in his head. And now he knows everything about this person or something that's going on.
And that's kind of the basis of the show,
And
week to week.
And that's how Yvonne Strahovski and
Because they're CIA, right?
Yeah, they're CIA.
Or they're after the
They're kind of
info.
his handlers. They
Adam
come
Baldwin,
in.
that's the other guy that they got with.
Yeah.
So that's it. The one is one FBI or both CIA?
I think they're both CIA.
Yes.
Adam Baldwin, is that the guy who was Jane in Firefly?
Yes, that's him. Mm-hmm. I just started watching that again the other day.
Love that.
Great
That's
show.
on my list of shows.
Cool. Yeah, that is mine too. Somebody just recommended that to me.
So,
But yeah, they're his handlers, and they're, you see, like, she's kind of like not wanting to be in a relationship with her, but her cover is that they're boyfriend and girlfriend.
Yeah.
So like Chuck, he's really falling for her, and she's like trying to deny it, like, no, I'm just your
Yeah, right. Don't get crazy.
Yeah.
yeah,
But like
you're-
just seeing
you're
them
ju-
progress.
Like, yeah, you're just someone I'm working with.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Just trying to keep you alive.
Right.
For us
right.
guys watching the show, man, I mean, that's what the show's about.
Yeah.
Them too.
You're
And it's
pulling
like,
for him, right?
Like, my
That
favorite,
relationship, yeah.
my favorite moment of the entire series is like season 2.5, 3, something like that. They finally decide, you know what? We're never gonna have a normal life. We're gonna go on the run. We're gonna run away to Europe. We're gonna get away from the government. So the first night, they go to just this little motel just to catch some sleep real quick. So they wake up the next morning, and like the sun's coming in, and they wake up and they realize they had been holding hands all night long, and they just look at each other, and they just like
That was it.
Yeah,
Oh, dude.
I was like, man,
Awesome.
because that's what, as a fan, you had been wanting for 3 years,
Yeah.
and you're like, yeah, this is it. This is what the show's about.
Dude.
So
but
that's
it
why,
didn't end good?
That is why
Oh.
the show ended bad, because
No.
this show was all about that relationship.
Yeah.
And the last season was half the episodes of a regular season. And for some reason, they decided, like, we're going to say Sarah loses her memory. So she doesn't remember any of the stuff that we've been along on this ride for 5 years.
She's starting over fresh.
She's starting over fresh, has no idea who Chuck is, doesn't want to give him a chance or anything.
Lazy writing.
The show ends with, like, them on a beach and, like, she's giving him a chance to talk to her and stuff. I'm like,
Now,
no,
let
that's
me
not
just say
good
one
enough.
thing about this beach. This is the same beach that in season 1 that Chuck goes to because he's trying to deny having this intersect, and she comes to him and helps him walk through this. So now she's on this beach, and he's now with her.
So the roles are reversed.
Yeah.
But that was not good enough for me at
No.
all. I was like,
No,
no,
not at all.
We've had 5 years of just pouring our hearts out, wanting these two to be together,
And
and
you
they
just hit
finally
the
get together.
reset button.
And that one was probably one of the worst for me.
Yeah,
Honestly, that would team
that
up.
was one of those that actually hurt me to watch.
Yeah,
the end of
man,
that.
it hurts my soul. I'm like,
No,
no,
'cause
Chuck
like,
and
this
Sarah's
guy,
like
he's-
the ones
Yeah.
you want to be together.
Man.
And he's got his sidekick Morgan Grimes.
Yeah, they started going all over the place at the end.
Yeah, like the
They
last
give
2
Morgan
seasons.
the intersect.
Yeah, and he's like a
weird.
dork and like an idiot basically.
He's the D to the Josh.
Exactly. That's right. I'm the
Know it.
intersect and you are. But he, then he gets the intersect on his end. Like, wait a minute,
Yeah, they just start going all over the place with it.
But
It's so
another thing that's really great in the series, Jeffster,
the Jester.
the Jeffster. Again, you had to be there. These two pathetic dorks working at the Buy More. It's hilarious. It's a great series. It really is.
It really was.
until the last season.
Yeah, it's
I've
like,
heard nothing but good things about it from everybody who has seen it. They're always like, "Oh man,
watch like the first 4 and just forget that 5 exists.
Yeah, and I mean, 'cause there's some internet groups. They're just hoping a movie gets made.
Just to kind of clean it up.
Yeah.
Perfect idea for the right shows. Too.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing about it is, you look at this. There's a lot of shows that are really good based on that kind of chemistry and the tension between the characters like that. And then when they get together, they lose it. You remember Moonlighting with Bruce Willis? You wanted them to get together. You wanted it to work out. And the moment they did, they had nothing else ready for that show to kind of hinge on. And you're like, okay, they're together. Well, that's over. And they're like, no, dude, we are like in season 3. We got more to do. No, we don't care now.
Nah, see, I think Chuck and Sarah worked when they finally got together. They started teaming up more and stuff.
Oh yeah, I mean, like there's one scene.
That's it. They got more to build on.
It was like season 4, I think, toward the end or the beginning, and they were handcuffed together after they'd been caught on the train, and they like, you ready? And they just take out like these 5 guys handcuffed back to back.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
Season 1, he just knew like the info, so it was always kind of like, bring Chuck along, get the info, leave him in the car, and go do.
Does he have martial arts skills and stuff too?
No, he can see this stuff, and all of a sudden he knows karate.
So he knows what to do.
That's what I was saying. In season 1, he didn't have that. They were just kind of like leave Chuck in the car.
Yeah.
But season 2, he gets like I guess some new info or something, so he gets all these kung fu moves.
Like
Now he starts fighting.
Like a computer. He's got a computer upgrade.
Yeah.
And one great
That's
thing
awesome.
too, she got a job to keep her cover right across the street at the Wienerlicious.
Yeah.
And she's dressed. It's this German hot dog place.
Yeah.
And she's dressed in this tiny little skimpy skirt.
Yeah, she got like the Oktoberfest skirt and the.
Right.
It's something to
There you go.
behold.
Yes,
Something
it
to
is.
behold. She kicks the crap out of Adam Baldwin in one season in that restaurant. It's hilarious.
So this is a great show.
Yeah.
But the ending.
That last,
Ixnay
the
on
last
the ending.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a Yvonne Curse or something because she's
Next.
fabulous actress, but terrible in that one. And then Dexter, another terrible one.
Dexter, one of the great. Well, I can't blame her for this.
Nah,
This
it
thing,
got bad before she.
This
came
was
along.
what 7 seasons?
Yes, I believe so.
7 seasons, and after about season 4,
4 were good. Yeah.
yeah, and then
They started
Really?
veering
they
further
really
and further
jumped
from
the
the
shark
books.
there.
Yeah, like season 1 was pretty spot on with the first book. Then they just started taking liberties and liberties, and it eventually just got to where it wasn't anything like the book.
Yeah.
I'll never understand why people who see a successful, original subject matter think that they can improve on it.
Wait, was that a comic?
No, it was just
An
novel.
actual book?
Yeah.
Because I remember saying comics. I guess that may come later then.
Yeah,
Probably
probably.
did.
Okay.
Yeah, because it was just like several, kind of like Sherlock, just several stories. Each book is a story to its own with Dexter. And the writer, he said he hated Michael C. Hall as Dexter. And
really?
I couldn't imagine anybody else.
Dude, he was great. He's great in that.
Even at the end, he said that, like, he didn't prove himself. Like, okay, well, he's good now.
No, he just didn't approve of his look and everything.
Oh.
He didn't think what he imagined.
I can't imagine anybody else playing that role.
I mean,
him and that and 6 Feet Under. If you guys seen that,
I haven't seen that.
Really good show. That was I think it was a Showtime series as well, either Showtime or HBO. Great series as well. It's about a family of morticians.
Oh yeah,
really good show.
And it's hard though, because if you've ever had something that you cared about and you were already invested in, very seldom is somebody else's idea going to be like that. Match up.
Right.
And that's always, especially like when we have comic books and they cast somebody, you're like, what?
I know. What are you doing?
Who did that? No, dude. Are you reading the same book I'm reading, man?
But Dexter just kind of like, it really hurt because they set up the perfect ending.
You want to give them the backstory of who Dexter is and everything too?
I saw the first episode.
I mean, some people might not have any clue who he is or what he did.
Dexter's this really socially awkward guy who just doesn't fit in anywhere, but he pretends to. He tries his hardest to just fit in, go in, be social and everything, because he wants to appear normal, because his true passion is he's a serial killer. He'll go for the people that got off, that weren't arrested or whatever, beat the system, and he'll stalk them. He's got this whole process, this set of rules he follows.
Yeah, he has a code. He has an actual code.
He never gets caught because he's so good at it.
He sets up a kill room.
It's
amazing.
Medical professional too?
No, he works in the police force as a CSI.
He's like a crime scene guy, like a blood splatter and all this stuff, and he sets up his stuff, and
he's got a kill room too.
Yeah. No. What he does, is like he'll set up a room wherever the kill's going to be. He puts plastic on everything, so blood will be nowhere that can be found.
No DNA evidence left over. Yeah. He chops the body up into pieces, puts them in trash bags, take them out into the ocean.
He's got a little boat, takes it out in Miami, takes it out to the ocean, drops them.
Golly, it's some morbid stuff.
Yeah, it really is. But
it's amazing.
The first show I watched the first little bit of it. I said, okay, this ain't for me.
His inner monologues.
I didn't think it was for me either. Yeah.
Just the way he fits into the world and like forces himself to be a normal person. Really, he's like.
And the whole time I was hoping they'd kill his own sister, but he never did.
Yeah, she was annoying.
Gosh, she was horrible.
But one of his lines
Jennifer
was
Carpenter.
Oh yeah, one of his lines was like, "These guys are just talking to each other. It's like, don't they know that's the hardest thing in the world to do?"
Yeah.
Right, and he's just like, "How are you so normal?"
Yeah,
yeah. And like the absolute last episode for me, because Yvonne Strahovski, she got in season 6
and 7
through and then through 7, but the last episode was brutally bad. I mean, it's just like, let's just throw some stuff together just to end the series.
Yeah, they did. They set up the perfect ending. They were going to run away. He was going to give up the life of killing. He finally found happiness with this girl. He's got his son. And then like, no, we're not going to do any of this. We're just going to take a complete left turn.
Yeah, his sister, she got shot, did she?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so they were having a really big hurricane come in. So he goes into the hospital and just walks up to her, all the nurses and doctors. No one apparently cares.
Just walks out with her.
Yeah, I mean, he finishes her off there. I mean, just basically would he put a pillow over her face?
Maybe, I don't even remember.
Yeah, and then just walked her right out and put her on the boat.
Threw in the water.
Yeah, and no one there. Just he sees this guy taking a woman out. Just, I mean, like, really, seriously?
That's just.
So,
lazy writing.
So the end, he's going into a big tidal wave and the hurricane coming in. So you think, oh, he died. And he gives Yvonne Strahovski's character, what was her name? Hannah McKay?
Hannah McKay, yeah.
And that was his original name for it. And then he come around to Yvonne. I mean, to Sarah Walker.
Yeah.
But they sent her to South America. It was Argentina.
Argentina, yeah.
Yeah, and with his son.
Yeah. And she's like a serial killer herself. She poisons people. So it's like, go ahead and take care of my son. I trust you.
Oh, my gosh.
And so you think, okay, so he's going to die. Next thing you know, he's got a beard at a logging place
he's like
somewhere.
In West Virginia working logging.
Because at the end I'm like, wait, is he with Wolverine now at the logging place? What the heck?
So that's what they all do.
I was like, this is just.
But it's just like they set up that perfect ending where they were going to run away to Argentina. It's just like, nah, I'll just give you my kid, you raise my kid, and I'll just go be a lumberjack.
I heard so many people after that show. Like I said, I didn't watch it, but I remember the backlash after everybody watched it going, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah.
You know, I think my brother and his wife Mandy had watched it, and they were saying the same thing. They're like, "That's awful."
Yeah.
Like they shouldn't have watched the last season.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
You know.
Chuck and Dexter were both the same way. It's like, if it's not lazy writing, it's like, why would you do that to your fans? You build up all this expectation. That's all you can give us?
That's whack.
It was horrible.
Especially if
Absolutely
it's the same writing team or creative team that kind of got you there. It's like, okay, we were so on the same page. What happened? See, all that money from Hollywood, man. They start messing with them drugs.
Start putting it in their own pockets.
Start doing
that
whatever,
was-
man.
just brutal. You know what? Let's get to something good, and then we'll come back to something bad.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Well, we got something good.
I know you've seen this one, Troy. Spartacus.
I have not seen that yet.
Man, let me
That
tell
is
you.
one of my favorite shows ever.
Now, but I have a very specific opinion about that series.
Okay.
Okay. First of all, that first season was absolute gold.
Phenomenal, yes.
I mean, in fact, this kind of is something that I was thinking about earlier. One of the worst things about, having a show end poorly is the same thing like these guys who are getting ready to maybe do reunion shows. I think Friends, they're, always talking about doing a Friends reunion or something. But the thing that you worry about is you had something that was so good. Do you really want to leave a bad taste in everybody's mouth if you don't pull it off? Let it be. You don't want to
Matrix.
spoil it. Yeah. Right. Let it be good and then leave it alone.
Yeah.
And Spartacus was great. And then when the star Andy, when he passed away from cancer, and they were kind of like, oh man, we had such success, because that first season is unreal.
Yes.
And they have to find the new actor who did a phenomenal job, but he just wasn't the same for me.
Yeah, for me too. I agree.
And I dig him. In fact, I want him to do good in Hollywood. I
me
think
too.
he's a good guy.
He's really a strong actor too. Have you seen that new Hercules? It's like Legend of Hercules or something like that.
No,
Not the one with The Rock, but the other one.
you talking about the? Oh no! I know exactly what you're talking about, but I never saw it. I saw The Rock's Hercules when it came out.
There's another one where another guy plays Hercules. I can't think of the guy's name. He was in Twilight. He was like the big dude in Twilight.
Yeah.
But yeah, Liam McIntyre, he was like a general of the army. He was like supporting actor basically. He had the best part of the movie though. He's in this room with like 6 dudes that are getting ready to kill him, and he's like, he's gonna fight him. He's gonna go down swinging. He's like, why do you support Hercules? Why are you buying him? He's like, hope. He gave us hope, and he pulled his sword out, and he's getting ready to go down.
Oh,
to
dude,
town
that's
on all
good.
6.
That
I was
is. That's good.
That's the best moment of the movie right
Now, the first season, I could almost call Spartacus a complete thing for me because they had a different actor. Even though they were all finding, the different, still in the same universe, if you will.
Yeah.
But they had a different actor, and then they started going with some different character lines while they were trying, like Gannicus.
Yeah.
And all this. I could consider season 1 as a complete series for me, like a mini series, if you will, and be completely ecstatic.
Well, see, they had a basis to work with. They had a little bit of history with
Oh,
the real
sure,
Spartacus,
yeah.
so they knew when it was going to end and everything. So
Right,
they had to
right.
plan out. So I enjoyed the whole thing. Like
I watched the whole thing. I mean, I was in it till the end. I was like,
Yeah.
no, I'm in it. I want to see this.
season 2 when they brought in Liam. He wasn't quite as good. I had that kind of bad taste in my mouth. Like, you're not quite as good as Andy Whitfield.
No.
But by the time we got to season 3, the last season, I was on board with Liam. I really enjoyed him.
I really did, but I did not. There was something about Andy.
Yeah.
That there was just this reckless abandon, that he was like, I don't care.
Yeah.
And the other guy, you're almost looking like he almost was like, the first season, you felt like he almost had to apologize for taking over.
Yeah.
It's like, hey man, I know I'm stepping on your toes here, everybody, but
Yeah.
it's a job. I got to do it.
He did a lot of that on Twitter. He was always like, yeah, Andy was the man. Andy was the man.
Yeah, which is so, and I've heard a lot of things in his, social media and his, he's a big comic nerd, which is really a neat thing. He's also, I didn't know this, the show Flash. Mm-hmm. Did you recognize him in that?
Yeah, Weather something.
Yeah.
Weather Wizard.
When I saw him in there, I was like, I know this guy,
Yeah.
but I could not figure out who it was for like a month.
See, I follow him on Twitter, so I knew he was.
So
gonna be
you
on
already
the
knew?
show, so, yeah.
I had no idea. I was so mad when I figured it. I was like, I cannot believe
He was going to be at one of the comic conventions we were going to go to, and he had to back out. Because he ended up backing.
That's right.
He ended up backing out because he had to film that Flash thing. I was like, no.
Yeah.
Now, did you like how Spartacus the entire series ended?
I loved it.
At the very end?
Like when I
Even
watch a
with
show,
Crixus and all of those guys,
well,
kind
you
of
knew it was gonna happen.
Right. That's kind of why I was like, I don't want to see this.
No, but like I believe in that writer. Stephen DeKnight. He actually produced Daredevil too, which is another fantastic show.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, he didn't disappoint. When I watch a show, I kind of think, how would I write that? How would I end it?
That's
and
good,
for
yeah.
Spartacus ended exactly the way I wanted it to.
I just hated because these guys, you almost had them built up epically.
Yeah.
To where if Crixus, it doesn't matter who he's around. He's going to kill everybody.
was my dude. I was like, don't kill Gannicus. Yeah.
100%. Gannicus was, I think, every guy who saw Gannicus on screen was like, I want to be huge.
Right.
Yeah. It's like, wow, that dude is unreal.
You're the coolest dude.
You know what's
ever.
crazy about that? You know how massive he kind of looks? He's like 5'8".
Oh, yeah.
He's like nothing. You know? I was like, whoa, big personality.
But yeah, the show wraps up like Spartacus's nickname, his gladiator like subtitle nickname or whatever was the Bringer of Rain.
Yeah.
Because he defeated this guy that was undefeated, and there had been this drought the entire time. And when he killed him, as soon as he killed him, it started pouring down rain.
Oh.
So they started calling him the Bringer of Rain.
Yeah, it was really neat because that's what the whole story kept reinforcing, that it was a drought.
Yeah.
And when this happened, this guy was unbeatable. They kept reinforcing that. And when they came together, this guy became bigger than life.
So like at the end, like Spartacus is gonna fall. It happens in history. So
right.
They play it out like he almost beats the guy that's gonna take him down, and he would have, but like all his backup comes in and they get Spartacus, and then Spartacus's backup gets him and like takes him out. So Spartacus actually kind of gets away. They get his body, and like he's dying with all his people around him. He's laying there and like,
which I did like the way they did that.
I love that. And like he sees his wife that had been murdered. He like sees her as he's passing, and right when he dies, like a single raindrop falls right on his cheek. He's the Bringer of Rain, and all the rain starts coming again.
Have you ever seen that?
No,
none of them.
I haven't seen any of them. That's not true. I saw like the first 2 episodes, and I just couldn't get into 2 episodes.
Well, I will tell you this.
Well, the biggest thing for me is like, I'm gonna have to start. How many seasons was it?
There was only 4.
That was it.
Yeah, and
See,
one
I
of
thought
them
it was a lot more than that.
No, and one of them was a real short
it.
season because it was
like
when
6
he died.
episodes. Yeah.
Oh, I'll get back into it then.
I will tell you this too: the first 2 episodes didn't grab me either. Not really, But once he gets to into the stable of gladiators, and that starts developing, and you see kind of, because at that point it turns into half of like a prison movie.
Kind of, sort of, yeah.
Which is, I mean, that's one of the scariest places that you could ever go. It's like nobody's got your back, and everybody's after you when you turn your back. So,
and it's like you see him rise from this guy that's getting beat. Crixus beats him like 3 or 4 times.
Oh, like, and not even like breaking a sweat. Crixus is like a god.
He's the undefeated Gaul. He's the undefeated champion so far. But
something clicks.
You see Spartacus just rise into the top, and
you're like,
he gets untouchable really quickly.
Really quick, and they're like, okay, wait a minute. This isn't supposed to happen. That's not the way this script is supposed to go. This guy, there's something special, and I bought it.
It's like you almost think like the gods of that time are on his side, because like he's getting ready to go down. Like his punishment was death by gladiator. He had 3 or 4 gladiators in there.
Yeah,
they were gonna kill him, and his wife, like he has this vision of his wife. She's like, kill them all, and he does. He kills every single one of them.
Well, I tell you what, that reminds me. I did not have to work the day when I was watching this. The next day I wasn't going to have to work. It was like weather related. So I was like, okay, I'm going to stay up. I'm going to watch probably the last 3, and I'll save the final for tomorrow. Well, I keep watching, and it's getting later and later, and I watch the episode before the final, and it was like, okay, the last line. I said, after this one, I'm going to bed. I'm not going to watch it. The last line, they go, well, what are we going to do then? And looking at Spartacus, he goes, we have nothing we can do. He goes, kill them all. It's like 2:30 in the morning. I come out of my seat losing. I'm like, what?
Another.
I popped that next one in. It was a DVD. I was like, I remember thinking, I was like, I cannot sleep.
Right.
And here's the thing. That last episode was so epic. It's probably
amazing.
It's probably the absolute best. It's better than what I could have imagined if I would have wrote it.
Yeah.
So I can't sell it any harder than that. If you want to see something good, watch that first season. The second and third, they're all good.
Yeah.
But there's something really special about that first
Every
one.
season finale has a really good ending, too.
Oh, yeah, they always delivered.
Yeah. That's probably one of my best endings.
Yeah. So all right, Spartacus ended fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
You want to do another good one, or you want to
Let's go with another good one. I'm trying to decide if I want to go to what was the highest rated show ever. That was MASH.
Dude, love that.
I mean, that show, I'll be honest, my brother loved it.
I loved it.
And I watched it here and there, and I love the characters. But the ending of it, one thing too, the actual, what was it, the Korean War lasted, I think it was 3 years. Yeah. And the TV show lasted 10.
Oh, wow.
10 seasons.
It was so funny because I remember that kind of feeling. Everybody was like, they must not be doing these as far as like every single episode must be a real day.
Yeah.
Because we got enough for 3 years. Yeah.
But, and it's actually to this day still the highest rated show
ever watched
besides a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Wow.
The biggest
day.
audience.
And that kind of blows my mind.
No kidding, yeah.
After all these years.
Yeah.
But the ending of it, to me, I actually watched it again the other day, and I still tear up watching the end of it.
Love that. Love that episode.
You see Hawkeye and Pierce, they going up that hill.
That's awesome, dude.
And that last goodbye, it was.
Because it was. What's the name of the episode? Amen, farewell, and goodbye.
Yeah, that's it. Mm-hmm.
Man, I started watching that, and I still. It's so funny because when I was watching it as a young person in reruns. So I didn't watch it like late night Monday night when it came on. I watched it at 7:30 every single night, at my grandma's or whatever, and I fell in love with it. In fact, it was a big reason. It stoked my curiosity because I loved the characters and the cast, and they did a real good job of showing how horrible war was.
Yeah,
but it really wanted me to feel that camaraderie, and when I decided to join the military, I was like, you know what? It'd be cool to have that as a bucket list item. I want to serve my country. I want to take and follow my father and my grandfather. They served. But then I actually thought, I was like, that'd be kind of neat to understand that camaraderie, to be a part of that. Yeah. So,
I mean, you had Klinger, the cross-dresser,
who was only supposed to be in a few episodes, like one episode, maybe.
I mean, his thing was he was cross-dressing, trying to make everyone think he was crazy.
Yeah, Section 8.
So he could get sent home. Last episode, he found a Korean woman, and he wouldn't leave. He stayed.
Yeah, in fact, that's what he goes, I looks like I'm staying. Everybody said, are you? Because he's the guy. Yeah. That's the whole. His whole character was defined by, I want to get out of here.
Yeah, just trying to find a way out of this place.
Did you not watch this ever growing up?
No, I saw a couple episodes when I was young, but I don't really remember it that much.
Then you had Radar. Yeah, he was kind of the nerdy guy in the group. Then they had a priest,
Father Mulcahy.
Father Mulcahy, and he'd stay there the whole time.
Radar had the distinction, too, of being one of the only ones who had been in the original movie and made it to the TV series. Because it's funny, I love the movie, but the TV series is what I saw first.
Yeah.
So going back and trying to see those characters like that, I'm like, nah, you guys got it wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, Elliot Gould, what? No.
Yeah. Then you had the hot blonde.
Oh, yeah.
Hot Lips Houlihan.
Oh.
And it's just, I mean, just
Frank Burns.
Yeah, Frank Burns.
Charles Emerson Winchester. Colonel Potter.
Colonel Potter, great character.
Henry Blake.
It was just.
They're incredible.
Yeah, it's such a great show.
We almost forgot. And he just passed away. I cannot believe.
Oh.
Wayne Rogers.
Yes.
Just passed last week.
Last week, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And he was Trapper John.
Yeah, later after that, Trapper John. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is crazy because they had had an argument. Well, not an argument, but he was upset about the fact that originally he was supposed to be one of the focal points of the show, not a sidekick. But, he started to feel Alan Alda's character was getting more of the focus, and he was like, man, I don't want to be a sidekick. And he threatened, maybe I'll take and just leave. And they said, you know what? People transfer out of military units all the time. Goodbye.
Yeah.
And he left. And the thing is, you're like, oh, man, did that kill his career? It ends up he turned out to be a huge financial wizard and be hugely successful in that realm.
Oh, cool.
So
see, the very end of the series, you see Alan Alda's character. He's the main focus of the whole thing.
He's the heartbeat of the whole show and camp.
And the guy right beside him the whole time, they're just like the wisecracking goofballs playing practical jokes on everybody.
Yeah.
in the last scene, you see them hug each other, and
Him and BJ hugging.
him and BJ, and they just it's awesome. And you see Alan All's character. He gets on the helicopter to get ready to fly out, and you see the guy. He's like, "I made something for you. I made something." He's like, "What? I can't hear you.
Yeah.
I can't hear you." And the helicopter takes off, and you see BJ's character. He's on a motorcycle, goes flying down a hill like half sideways, and as the helicopter's going up, you see in rocks, they wrote out "goodbye."
Well,
and I'm just like,
well, the whole thing about it, the reason that the rocks were really important is because the whole time he didn't want to say goodbye.
Yeah, that was his thing.
And he wouldn't, they wouldn't, and they both knew they needed closure. But was it Hawkeye who wouldn't say it, or was it BJ who wouldn't say goodbye?
I want to say it was BJ that wouldn't say it.
Yeah, he's like, no, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. And he's like, we've spent, years together in this blood and guts, and I couldn't have made it through without you. And, I want to have our moment to say goodbye. And he's like, nope. And when he pulled off and he saw it, I mean, you could tell he was like, I love you too.
It was awesome.
It was neat.
But
I'll tell you what, there's so many good episodes in that. I literally could do a whole podcast on MASH.
Yeah.
I love that show.
Great show. Great show.
When it came on Netflix.
Yeah, it's on there now.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry, before it came on Netflix. I had DVR, but I didn't have Netflix before. And I remember taking and going and finding what channels would still play it and making sure I record all episodes. And when I'd come home at night and everybody'd be in bed, I'd put on an episode. It's like, no, I've got to go into the swamp and I want to take and walk around the ER in Colonel Potter's office and then I can go to bed.
Oh, and some of the scenes where they were operating on people.
Oh, wow.
I mean, there was some kind of gore in it too.
Yeah.
I mean, not like
especially
a horror movie.
especially in the earlier ones.
But it was. I mean, you had scenes where them going out trying to save people in the field, like bombs going off around them and stuff. And it was a really, really good show.
I cannot recommend it highly enough. If you wanted to see something that was solid, this thing, Golden Globes, Emmys. I mean, that's a solid show that still holds up. And the fact is, it actually aged well because you get to enjoy a little bit of that 70s humor. And they had some episodes where they used laugh tracks and then others where they didn't.
Yeah.
And it's a good show. It's one of my favorites of all time.
That's cool.
Let's go back to the negative side of life. I want to say one of my
Let's talk more about MASH.
I'm going to possibly my favorite show of all time.
Oh, boy.
Seinfeld.
Gosh,
I love that show. The show about nothing that applies to everything.
Another show we could do a whole podcast on.
So many great characters, so many
Did
great
you watch
scenes.
I've seen a few episodes, yeah.
A few episodes.
I know, right? That hurts to hear that. It really does. I mean,
I'm not going to say anything because I didn't see Dexter and some of these other ones. I won't say anything. But Seinfeld?
I mean, this show, it comes on every day still, and if I catch it on, I will stop and watch it. But,
me too. If there's something on, I'm going to watch.
Oh, gosh. I mean, every character on there, so great. I mean, side characters who become
real characters.
Just pop culture.
Hello, Newman.
Yeah, Newman. Yeah, Soup Nazi.
Soup Nazi, yeah. Dude.
I mean, it's such a great show. But the last...
Mr. Peterman?
Yeah, Jay Peterman. But the last season, well, not like the whole last season, but the last about 5 episodes, I mean, it went bad. It went really, really bad.
It's funny because I don't know the episodes in order as far as season-wise because I watched those all in syndication too.
Oh, okay.
So they had I didn't have any kind of chain to watch them in. So the 5 episodes, do you know which 5 they were?
Well, actually, it's probably like 4 episodes because they basically had like two-parters to end it.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Like one of them was they got kind of accused of being racist because they had like a Latino parade going through, and they said a few things here and there that wasn't politically correct.
Oh, right.
And I mean, and granted, the episodes were not good, and then they threw some people accused them of being racist as well. Which I didn't really feel that, but
you mean in the press really said that? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought that was the episode. What it was about?
No, it was they were stuck in a parade for 2 episodes, and they were trying to watch a sporting event, and it was a horrible. It was a 2-episode horrible just junk, and the last was they called it the finale.
Yeah,
it's part 1 and 2. They finally get that pilot that they've been trying to get for a few years to actually make Seinfeld.
Right.
Which to me,
show about nothing.
To me, it's hilarious because in earlier seasons, George and Jerry pitched it to, I guess was it CBS, NBC, and the one guy that said it was going to be good, he left because Elaine wouldn't go out with him.
Yeah. So they lost their in. They're like, what?
And so finally they got it back, and they will send them to California, but they will have one last trip. The NBC said, we'll give you a plane, take you anywhere in the world you want to go. So they decided to go to France. So they get on that plane, and I don't know why Kramer, he took a shower or went swimming, I can't remember which, he had water on his ear. So he was jumping up and down on the plane on one leg, smacking his head, and somehow or another the hydraulics messed up on the plane.
Oh.
So they had to make an emergency landing in a little town in Massachusetts. And Kramer is filming different things, and they film a guy getting robbed who's a he's an overweight gentleman.
Yeah, we're not PC. He's fat.
Yeah. And he was getting robbed, and they're just sitting there cracking jokes. And they had just passed a law where if you're not trying to help someone, you're basically part of the act.
Yeah, Good Samaritan law.
Yeah, the Good Samaritan law. And so the next episode is basically them. They get their attorney.
They have to go in front of the judge.
Childs. What was his first name?
Oh.
Childs. He's basically a Johnny Cochran.
Yeah.
And
he never wins.
He never wins, and mainly it's because of Kramer and most of them. But they have basically like an endless line of characters throughout all the years that they've done wrong to, basically up there.
Just reaming them.
Yeah, just tell them how horrible these people were. In the very last episode, they're in a prison cell, just the four of them sitting there talking about stuff. Like, it was horrible. Horrible.
And didn't they say that one of the punishments was because they were so narcissistic, they were so self-centered, that they would be in jail, but they'd also be separated. Like, you couldn't be around this guy for a full year, whatever.
Oh, wow.
And that's how it went out. And you're like,
you see these. I mean, and the first thing they talk about, which I kind of thought was funny, is Jerry looks at George and goes, that second button, it's the worst place for a button, which was actually in the very first. It was either the first actual episode of the pilot. They were talking about that button. And George goes, "Didn't we talk about this once before?"
Yeah.
And I was like,
and
I always wanted to come back and fix this wrong in life, and they never did. They actually was on what was that show? It was on. Oh man,
I know what you're talking about.
I can't think of the name of the show.
Larry David
show. Yeah.
He wrote it. Is it his show? Larry David show?
Yeah, I think that's what it's called.
But they did kind of a quote unquote reunion.
Yeah. They just came back together and they were talking about doing a reunion, and they never did it.
Right.
On the series, they played. I mean, they played themselves on it.
Right.
But it was.
And then they also did a thing where they did like a best of, where they just showed Jerry on stage doing his like, "You ever had a time?" And what he would do was like say, "Take a look at this," and they'd have a bunch of their best moments.
Oh, that's cool.
And then they put some bloopers in, and then he was doing questions and answers to the audience. And at the very end, the last question was, "Do you guys think you'll ever do a reunion show?" And he goes, "We just did. Good night."
Yep.
And that's what it was. It's like, that's not a reunion. That's a best of.
Yeah. Well, they did actually have like a best of, like their 100th episode or something like that.
Yeah.
And it was just like clips, and he was in his living room and they're just reliving stuff. I mean, so many great shows, like the one. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Oh yeah.
They thought a reporter thought Jerry and George were gay. Like, we're not gay. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
And dude,
nothing at all.
So many of those things became literal. Things in society where like
catchphrases.
Yada yada.
No double dipping.
No double dipping.
You're double dipper. You double dip the chip.
Don't double dip the chip.
Man hand, soup Nazi, puffy shirt.
Puffy shirt. Talking about that earlier tonight. But it's such a great show with terrible ending.
Now, how would you have ended it? Because like you said, how you would write it out. I think I got an idea now.
Okay.
They should have come back from that thing, gone to California, and then showed them all walking on stage to do Seinfeld. And they were going to star in it and be like, hey, that would have been that would have
been pretty cool, yeah.
Because then you were like having the first.
It's one of those things I never thought about how they could actually end it, but
not like that.
Yeah,
that was horrible.
That was absolutely horrible.
I will tell you this: I don't know very many people who did watch it regularly who didn't become fanatical about it. That's how funny it is.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so it's worth checking out.
Who's got it next?
I tell you what, I got one for the worst endings too.
Sure.
Lost.
Lost was my next one.
Lost.
I made it to season 4 on that, and I couldn't go on anymore with it.
Did you finish 4?
Well, whenever they got with the Kate and Sawyer were in the cage,
Yeah.
Okay.
and they
With the polar bear?
yeah, like the dog biscuits or something
Yeah.
coming out, and then Sawyer gets out of his cage, goes into her cage, and then I'm like, well, why don't y'all just leave?
So you didn't see the underwater laboratory? You didn't see all that?
I
I was
saw.
way gone by then.
Was that like for you as much for me? That was must see
Absolutely.
TV.
Yes.
I would not miss an episode
Yeah,
of that.
no kidding. That was my show for a long time. That was my favorite show.
Oh, me too.
Because, I thought it was these genius writers. They're giving us all these little bits and pieces. And
Me too. They
At
turned
the
out to
end-
be idiots.
at the end, they're going to throw it all together, and it's going to blow our minds. They're like, oh, my gosh, this was happening the whole time.
Now, I will
And
say
yeah,
this:
they just-
season 1, I was hooked.
Yeah.
To the end of season 1. I mean, I was all in there. Then
Well, it's funny. I know a lot of people who did fall off because it got to be, if you missed the season, you're done. Or if you missed an
I
episode.
actually started watching on DVD later on, so I wasn't right with it. So I started watching it, and I to this day I have not heard the ending.
You have not missed out on
Woohoo!
anything.
No. See, that they just... I think it just became a game to them, honestly. They're like, let's just say this happens. Let's throw this in. They create another question, like, why did this happen? And they just never go back to it ever again.
Well, and that was the biggest problem I had because the whole show was a mystery.
Mm-hmm.
And you didn't know, okay, where are they at? And then every single episode, they'd give you another question and maybe a piece of an answer.
Uh-huh.
So it was like breadcrumbs. They kept you coming back, baiting you. They had so many questions that I so wanted to know the answer to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And in the end, there was no answers for any of them.
Yeah, they had a cop-out, like, well, if we answer those, there'll be questions that follow that, so we're just not going to answer any
Well,
questions.
and they also said the show's name, and this made me mad because this is the biggest cop-out. I think they didn't think it would last that long.
Maybe so.
And they hadn't scripted it to the end, and they said, we'll figure it out when we get there. And then
Yeah.
they just writer's block and screwed up.
Did they ever tell the smoke monster?
No.
Because that was like one of the big hooks at the beginning.
That was one of the things that I mean, to me, that made me so mad to not know what the smoke monster was.
Oh, he was the man in black or whatever. That's what the smoke monster was.
No, they the way they said it, it could be, it could not be, and
And the numbers?
Jacob, him and the other guy there, the others.
Yeah, they tied the numbers into everything. Like, the numbers were on the hatch. The numbers were the numbers that Hurley won the lottery with, and he thought they were
Because I remember
cursed and
that.
stuff.
I remember
Where'd
that.
they come from? What do they mean? Nothing.
And they mean nothing.
Yeah.
They mean nothing. The polar bear.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, they killed this polar bear. Like,
Yeah,
wow.
it's a polar bear on like
On
a
Hawaii.
Yeah, like in a tropical place.
And you're like, okay, man, well, that's got to mean something.
Yeah.
And then the whole facility, the Dharma Initiative,
Yeah.
they got this thing. Well, who are they? Nobody.
Mm-hmm.
I was like,
I tell you what,
pissed.
right now I'm really glad I left it.
I'm
at season
telling you,
4.
It made fans mad because, like,
It made me mad.
I remember hearing a lot of people upset about it.
I actually saw that on my honeymoon first night because we were going to Hawaii for our honeymoon, and there was bad weather. We got a layover in Detroit. So our first night of our honeymoon, we were stuck
Go Lions.
we were stuck in Detroit for the first night of our honeymoon. So we're like, what the heck are we gonna do? And it was the series finale of Lost was coming on. I was like, let's finish Lost tonight.
That's what you do at your honeymoon when you got your wife there.
That's the worst way it could have, man. I'd have been like,
So,
yeah,
but
and-
I do remember you going to Hawaii, going to the set and everything.
Yeah, we got a tour of Lost. We saw like a bunch of filming locations and stuff.
Wait,
And I had
after
fun
you
with
saw
that.
the finale?
Yeah.
I would have been like so pissed. I don't want to go to this thing. This sucks.
It'd be hilarious, Josh there tearing up the place.
Go
He said,
Kylo
"Hey,
Ren on it.
Do you see this? You know what this is? Nothing. It doesn't mean crap.
That would have been awesome.
But the no answers.
That would have been the real ending.
the
so
no
mad.
the no answers ticked me off. And another thing that ticked me off was right from the very beginning. The people are they're like
The
what-
answer ticked you off.
Yeah, they're like, are they in purgatory? And they flat out said, no, it's not purgatory. We guarantee it's not purgatory. What did it end up being?
Purgatory.
A place they went to before they could move on.
In other words, they
Purgatory.
had to take and, fulfill some sort of a mission or something that was wrong before they could be purified, if you will, to go on. And it
So
was
they
like,
needed like some quarters and some Jello.
it was retarded.
Yes.
Yeah.
And not only that, I remember when everybody said that they go, are they in hell? No, they're not in hell. They in purgatory? No, they're not in purgatory. And that I heard that, I guess, the end of season 1 or season 2.
Yeah. Because like I was enthralled with this show. Like I'll listen to the official Lost podcast every week and everything.
Yeah.
What
I
about
remember hearing
the
about that. Yeah.
big statue with missing one toe?
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Remember
what
that?
was that? Yeah.
They had this huge statue that was the size of like, a skyscraper.
Yeah.
But the only thing you saw was its legs, like it had fallen into the sea or something. And you looked at it, and everybody was like, is that unreal or what? And the guy goes, yeah, can you believe how big it is? He goes, no, it's not what I mean. Count his toes. And there's only 4 toes, like aliens or Atlantis or something.
Yeah.
So you're thinking, oh my gosh. I always wanted to know,
Yeah,
what's that?
Yeah. Nothing.
Oh, they're in hell.
Oh, good Lord.
Purgatory.
That's awful.
I was so mad, and I wanted to be okay with it at the end because they had the show afterwards to have all the guys on and stuff. And I was like, I hate this.
I know.
This is awful. This is awful.
Wow.
Even some of the cast members, you could tell they were like, this is not going to be good.
Yeah, no kidding, man.
So, hey, I'll tell you another one that I thought had a horrible ending. Smallville.
Oh my goodness. If that had ended at season 4,
even 3, I would have been good with 3.
yeah.
Well, season 3 and any decent episodes from then on condensed into a season 4.
Yeah. And then just at some point had Tom Welling fly away.
Yeah.
I mean,
Last
actually
5
do some
seconds
actual
of the
real
show.
flying.
Yeah. Because they could have said, hey, you know what? That is the chapter we call Smallville. The next chapter is Metropolis.
Because as I recall, I thought it was supposed to be 4 seasons, like through his high school years. It's kind of what I thought I remembered it starting out to be.
Well, I don't know if they ever thought that it would go past 4, but I don't know if they said that's the storyline we have mapped out. But they could have. I don't remember that. But I remember the first episode when I saw it, I was in.
When he got hit by Lex's car.
Oh, dude.
I mean, that's one of those things. When I got DVD, I replayed that over. I was like, how did they do that?
Because that looked really, really real, man.
It was an amazing shot.
I actually got the poster of Tom Welling, strung up like the Scarecrow, and he's got the S painted on him with a kryptonite necklace on, and it says every story has a beginning. And I was like, I remember when I saw that picture, I was like, yeah, what's that about? Unreal.
I remember when I first started watching, like, man, this show, like every episode, I was hooked.
Krista totally did not want to watch it, and I made her watch the first episode, and she was hooked.
I mean, they had. I loved Lana and Clark.
Oh,
love that. I mean, he would always get so nervous and fidgety around her. It's because she had the kryptonite.
Yeah, and get
necklace.
queasy. Yeah, he'd get queasy.
And he would like drop stuff, and it was great.
Oh, the first time he did that, and he's picking up some of his books, and he was reading Nietzsche. And he says, Superman, because that's one of his theories, the philosophies, whatever. Okay. And I was like, yeah, this could be really good.
Such a great show. Like Allison Mack playing, what was her name, the blonde?
Chloe.
At first, I was like, I cannot stand this character. But after a while, I love that character.
Me too, because I didn't like her either. I was like, you know what? You're going to be in the way and kind of annoying because you're pining for him. Yeah. But we all want to see him with this, so now you're just a roadblock.
And she has the wall of weird.
Yeah, dude.
Like, that was so great.
I remember people used to give it a lot of grief because they called it, the formula was getting tired quick. The freak of the week.
Yeah.
Meaning that they were one shots, not like really bridged together, kind of
had some episodes strung together that worked great, and then
all of a sudden a random nothing.
Random nothing. Yeah.
It's kind of like X-Files. X-Files was like that.
Yeah, that's actually going on again too. I missed the beginning of it.
You know what? I've got them at home, but I'm waiting until this weekend to watch them. So maybe we can talk about those.
Yeah, I got to find that online somewhere too, so I can watch all those. And then, like, again, I think it Smallville. Back to Smallville. Back when that, to me, I think they made Tom Welling a producer or something, and that's when it's like, let's get another hot chick in here, and we're gonna make it.
Which they did. The girl who played Lois was incredible looking.
Yeah, gorgeous.
Man,
and every episode, let's find a way to make out.
Yeah.
Can't blame him. Yeah. Cannot blame him at all.
Hey, man, you got to work the goods, man.
Yeah. Oh, somebody punched my mic. It was me.
Hey,
Dre, leave it alone.
Dre, stop. Did you have a highlight outside of the car? What was some other highlights from that show that you really, really loved?
The tornado.
At the very end of the first season.
Yeah, when he flew up into the tornado. Well, not really flew.
But he did, yeah.
Yeah, and he said, it was Lana in the tornado?
Yeah.
I couldn't remember if it was Lana or his mom in that. And he just
Such a good part, man.
I mean, that was
so
phenomenal.
In fact, didn't you hope, you know what, that's how they're going to help him discover this?
Yeah.
Because all he saw was the love of his life got caught up in a tornado, and he didn't know. I mean, he couldn't fly yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't even think that was a possibility. He just starts running. He's like, I don't care. I got to do something. He knew he could jump.
Yeah.
And he knew he's strong enough. If I can grab her, maybe I can hold her. And he went, and all of a sudden you see it take him up, and he's like, I got a little control here. It was cool.
It was great.
Awesome.
And then another one was when the guys were bullying him, and then they go outside, and all their trucks are stacked up on top of each other.
Was that in Smallville, or are you talking about
I'm pretty sure
Man of Steel?
That was not in Smallville?
No.
I think that was in Smallville.
It might have been.
Man of Steel, there was a bar fight, and then like
remember they
there's
took
a
that
tow
Mack truck?
I'm
outside,
pretty sure
yeah.
this was like...
Did you see Man of Steel?
I have seen Man of Steel.
Do you know the part I'm talking about?
I regret seeing Man of Steel.
Do you remember the part I'm talking about?
No. I'm thinking of Superman Returns.
Have you not seen Man of Steel?
I have seen Man of Steel, but I was thinking that part in Superman Returns.
Yeah, but have you seen the part in the Man of Steel when he's in the bar, the guy dumps beer on him and she tells him to go away, and when he comes out and gets in his truck, it's put up with telephone poles.
Yeah.
Stacked all up. It looks like crunched up. You know what? I do remember there being a Smallville scene like that.
Because it seems like to me it's like that outside the high school.
Out of the high school. And they're like,
it's
what
about,
is that?
It's about 3 trucks stacked
I do
on top of each
kind of
other.
remember that, yeah.
What was another one you can think of right off?
I'll tell you, one of my favorites was when he had gotten, I think it was the red kryptonite. Mm-hmm. And, you know, every kryptonite in Superman canon does something different.
It has a bunch of different colors.
Yeah. Red, black, white, green, blue, all these things. Well, one of them,
Yellow
red,
and blue make green.
turns him evil. Mm-hmm. So he's real narcissistic. It's me,
He's got
me,
the motorcycle.
me. Yeah. He actually came out and he looked so cool like that. I was like, man, if you did that, you wouldn't have to worry. Lana would be chasing you.
Yeah.
You know? But at the very, end of the show, or at the part I like, his mom doesn't understand what's going on. Nobody does. Because it's like, I think he's wearing a ring.
He's wearing a ring, yeah.
And he doesn't even know that if he took it off, he'd be Clark again. And Clark is like the nicest guy in the whole world. Superman, right? So everybody is like, what's going on with you? And his mom comes out there and he says, stop us, what are you doing? And starts hitting him on the chest. Give me back my son. Like, what did you do? And he pushes her down and he says, my name isn't Clark, it's Kal-El. And he squats and the camera goes into slow motion and you can see the energy starting to vibe off of the picture screen. And he looks up like, you're like, he's gonna fly, dude. And he shoots into the air. It's impressive.
Yeah.
Everything in the whole world goes like into Matrix time, bullet speed.
Yeah.
Whoa. That right there is probably my favorite scene.
29 seasons later, he finally flies.
Yes.
Unreal.
Yes.
In fact, and one other scene. Remember when he jumped on the? There was a missile that actually did get launched, and they know if you don't do this, everyone's dead. And he's like, God, what am I gonna do? Because if he does it, he doesn't know he's Superman, right? There's no such word yet. He's like, man, I got to do it. All right, might be the last time you ever see me. And he jumps up and he, gets his grip into the thing and starts crawling up. Takes the warhead out and, of course, throws it so that it explodes over top and doesn't detonate. But everyone's sure, man, he's dead. Because all you see is this little dot up in the sky, and Clark's on it. And when he, comes down, all of a sudden, the next scene is Lana. And just like you were talking about, like Chuck and, was it Sarah? Just like that same relationship, you're pulling for these guys. You want them to be together. And Lana comes in to tell Mr. and Mrs. Kent Clark's dead. And she's totally distraught. And she walks in and, says, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Kent. And all of a sudden they go, hey, Lana, go in there. And she, all of a sudden, Clark walks in, like runs in and kind of looks at her slow motion. That was a great scene. Great scene. And
then there was 6 more seasons.
6 more seasons, dude.
It was like it was filler and more filler.
It was more and more nothing.
Did you watch last night's Flash? Have you seen it
No,
yet?
in fact,
I want to tell you about.
Dude, and my son told me, he goes, "You gotta watch these the night of, Dad." I'm like, "I'm tired, dude." This podcast is the latest thing I do every week.
Right.
So yeah, Smallville, having at the very end, the last scene, all you see is on top of the Daily Planet, and he pulls open the shirts, you see the emblem, and that's it.
Yeah, yeah. Then he flies away. I'm like,
and you don't even really see him fly.
Yeah, I mean,
you just see this cartoon animated.
We've got 10 seasons, and it's not.
And that's
even,
all we get.
It's not even 2 minutes.
Well, and you remember one of the things that the creator said was, the rule is that this is not a show about Superman. This show is not called Superman. It's a show about Clark Kent. So the rule is no flights, no tights. To really make that, because they didn't want it to turn into another Superboy. Yeah. Could have done so much more with
You're
it.
not kidding.
Yeah.
But they should have ended it at season 4. And if they wanted Tom Welling to come back and do something else, make it its own animal.
Yeah.
Make it its own thing where he actually, discovers the whole thing too. Jor-El. They made him out to be the bad guy.
Yeah.
Going so far as having Zod,
right?
Yeah, Terrence Stamp.
Yeah.
He was the bad guy in Superman 2.
Yeah.
So the whole time, all you're thinking is Jor-El is evil.
Zod.
He's not a good guy.
Yeah.
So no, didn't like that.
No, not at all.
What else you got? Is that
Let's
it?
see. We got just a little bit more. You want to do one last good one, one last bad one? One of each? Just one?
Let's do the digest version of the bad one, and let's discuss the good one.
All right. Digest version. How I Met Your Mother?
How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah, digest, because I never seen that thing.
This was one of the most cleverly written shows. I loved it.
Suit up.
It was kind of It's kind of underappreciated.
And a ride finally.
Finally, but it's kind of underappreciated because they had these really clever jokes written in, but the actors didn't react when somebody said the joke. So it's like, do I laugh at that?
Yeah.
It was they came off weird. The jokes didn't hit. It's that was really funny. They should play a laugh track or something to make us laugh.
Yeah.
The guy who's the real big comedian, not Barney Stinson, and not the guy who's trying to go for the mother, but the other guy.
Yeah, Marshall. Yeah.
Something about him really.
He's dry.
It rubs me the wrong way.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
he was cool. He was this lawyer guy, and he would make these points and be lawyered.
Lawyered. It was great.
Wasn't he kind of a goofball, sloppy kind of guy?
Yeah, he was the big
from Minnesota.
Yeah,
and he turned out to be a lawyer.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, he tried to be
a judge there at the end.
Yeah, but I mean, he wanted to be a lawyer for somebody that was saving the world, saving the planet against all the big companies. And at the end, he works for these people.
It's funny. You're old when you actually have friends who are now judges.
Yeah.
That you went to school with.
Right.
One of the guys we used to go with, I think he's trying to be a senator now.
Oh, wow.
Think about that for a second.
I was like, why are you doing that? You're making me feel so old.
But the whole premise of the show is How I Met Your Mother.
And
they're telling a story about how he's talking to his kids the entire time, telling the story.
How many women he's been with and all
Yeah.
this stuff. I was like, really?
Oh, to his kids?
But,
I mean,
how old are his kids?
They start out and
8?
Wait, one of them it was in that movie with Nicolas Cage. It's like Drive. Wasn't that
Drive
her?
Angry?
Oh, I don't know.
I think that was her.
Maybe.
Gone in 60 seconds?
Hey Dre, can you look that up for me?
But I kind of figured out.
I don't know.
I kind of figured out the ending because he's sitting there telling this long story about moms. I don't think he'd go into that much detail if mom was over there in the kitchen. It's she's dead. Mom's not there. That's why. So I kind of figured that out. And so the whole, how many seasons was it? It was a ton of seasons.
Like 9 or 10.
Yeah.
Wow.
Telling the story of all these adventures he had all throughout his life. And finally, at the very end of the very last episode, he finally gets with the mom. I was like, you've been telling this whole story, and you fit the mom into 2 minutes of the actual show. Yeah. And,
Wait, you mean she wasn't in the show?
Not until the last.
The girl who was his
season.
love interest was not.
In the last season, they would
the mom?
I mean, he literally the entire time is talking about other women he's been with until the last season when they bring her up.
Yeah.
They basically
and they're
bring her in here and there with a yellow umbrella.
Yeah, they would.
Which I thought was actually clever.
Yeah, but you don't know if it was actually her. It was just a woman with a yellow. But anyway, it's finally meets her, and then it just shows 2 or 3 little blips of their life. Had a kid, she got sick, she died, and here we are. I was like, you kept me around for 10 years for that.
Exactly.
And then he ends up getting with Robin.
Uh,
And I couldn't stand Robin, honestly. She was my least favorite character on the whole show.
And Robin, who was a character on the show,
The
was
entire
the mom?
time. No.
Okay.
It was one of the friends in the group, and like basically he was telling this whole story.
Is that Allison, whatever, the redhead?
No, she was Marshall's wife.
Gotcha.
Which one?
Because I didn't get that coupling either. That kind of put me off. I was
the
like,
little
what?
odd couple. They were a good couple on the show, though. You always liked them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
They're a
like
great couple
the
on
whole
the show.
story was like he was basically like talking about Robin the entire time because he's kind of getting the kids' permission. Like, you mind if I go date Aunt Robin?
Oh.
So I was like, yeah. They actually made an edit. Somebody on the internet like cut out all the going to talk to Robin parts and just like right when he's like, this is the mom, and they say hello, and then it cuts to credits. I was like, I prefer that much better, actually.
Mm-hmm.
It skips the whole her getting sick part. It skips the whole him wanting to go date Robin thing.
How about that?
It just ends the show right when they meet.
That's
Yeah.
like the machete version.
Right, yeah.
All right.
It was, man, it could have been so much better. So very, very much better.
I'll still watch all the reruns, though. Like, yeah, that's my mash, I guess.
Yeah,
I
right.
mean, like
right.
that whole last season.
You still got to watch MASH.
Yeah, you do. But the whole last season, I mean, they're just trying. You see, Marshall just trying to get to the wedding.
It drags on. It's like 20 episodes of him traveling across the country trying to get to this wedding.
I would gouge my eyes.
It's one of those
out.
things
I'm
that
not
if we
watching
didn't
this.
invest so much into it, we would have left.
Yeah.
Same thing with Smallville. After
Yeah.
3, we could have stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, dude, that thing was 10 seasons, too.
Another bad one that's like 10 seconds to talk about is Heroes. They build up this grand.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I made it
That's
through
a good one to bring
I
up.
made it through season 1 of that.
I
Season
did.
one's
and
the
it-
only one worth talking about, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the end, no payoff.
They build up this fantastic fight against these two super powered guys, and they don't even fight. Nothing happens.
What they did that was so right was that catchphrase, save the cheerleader, save
Yeah,
the world.
yeah.
I remember I was like, I don't know who wrote that, Tim Kring, whatever.
Yeah.
But that's bubblegum in your brain.
And that had-
I hated the show, and I still remember that. I mean, I liked the show, but the ending put me off of it so bad.
Not
Because you
only-
were expecting an X-Men battle.
Yeah.
All these guys had finally gotten their powers. Let's see. What we were looking for from that show was the Avengers New York.
Well, not even all of them fighting. I would have been happy if Sylar fought, what's his name? Was it Peter, the one that had
Yeah.
all the powers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted them to just go head-to-head, full-on battle, and nothing. We got nothing.
I really wanted, and maybe that's why the Avengers one of my favorite movies of all time. I wanted the team to come in there and this guy be too much for one of them, but they all team up and they
Yeah.
can take him, and he delivers the final like one-on-one. And it looked, all you saw was the dude fly off into the thing, and it happened in the distance, and you're like, it's over.
I'm going to be a bomb. Let me go up in the sky and be a bomb.
Absolutely terrible.
Yeah. Throw me another good one.
Yeah,
Daryl.
what's a good one? Let's end with a good one, and then we'll call it.
Well, I'm just going to throw this one out there really quick, and then we go to the one I really want to talk about.
Yeah.
Newhart.
Don't know that.
Oh, that was a great ending. That ending was probably one of the best endings ever.
See, he had 2 shows.
Yeah, the Bob Newhart
The Bob
show.
Newhart show, and then the second one's called Newhart.
Yeah.
And the ending of the the Newhart.
He struggled in the title area.
Yeah, he was a very complicated man. But the ending of it was the whole thing, and he was at a farm, and he owned a bed and breakfast, and I was going to say an outhouse. He owned an outhouse.
Who doesn't?
But he and he's got all these crazy characters, and one to this day, well, actually 2 to this day, I almost despise.
Are you kidding? That was probably one of the greatest thing. You were like, okay, they did something really funny here.
Larry and his 2 brothers, Daryl, and his other brother, Daryl. And they were both dudes.
Dude, I remember he'd go, my name's Larry. This is my brother, Daryl. This is my other brother, Daryl.
It's like, thanks, guys.
I remember
Thank
watching
you very
that with
much.
my dad. My dad would just started laughing. He goes, where are you at? They had to name the same kids. The kids the same name.
So the very last episode, Bob, he gets fed up with these people. He's just tired of them.
Because he's a city guy trying to come
Yeah.
into Vermont.
And he's like, I'm done with it. I'm leaving. And everybody, they just sitting there talking, totally ignoring him. And he just fed up. He opens up the door. A golf ball hits him. I don't know where a golf ball come from.
Not in Vermont.
So, and then he wakes up, in a bed. He's like, and it's dark. And he's like, oh, I just had a horrible dream. And he kind of almost recaps the show. And the wife wakes up. It's the wife from the original Bob Newhart show.
Oh, neat.
And I was like, it was great.
So funny.
And it was such a great ending.
Dude, it was so good because, she, like everybody, Everybody Loves Raymond.
Mm-hmm.
You know Ray's wife in that movie.
Yeah.
If she were to show up in another one of his projects, you'd be like, that's neat. That's the same idea.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so good.
And you just hear the crowd. It wasn't a laugh track. That was a crowd like really cheering. They didn't really know that's who that was.
Completely unexpected. And for them to do that was just like, you know what? That's cool.
That's comic gold.
Yeah, Jerry. Yeah, Daryl.
And the last one, the one I really want to talk about is Cheers.
Oh.
This was a show. I remember when it first came, I was like, dude, it's a show in a bar. Really?
Yeah, me too.
And
I didn't think it'd be on long.
Like the characters just became like household names.
Dude, look at, starting point for Woody Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson. Mm-hmm.
And if you look at him on that show and look at what he has done, it's hard to think he's the same guy.
Yeah. He was just a young kid in that show.
Oh, he was a kid.
But, he was on there because the original guy passed away.
Who are you talking about, Coach?
They called him Coach, yeah. He originally passed away. But they kept him in that bar the entire time. They had a picture of him on the wall. He was actually a Native American. They had a picture of him on the wall they kept their entire time, which I thought was awesome.
Who was?
Coach.
Coach was Native American?
Yes, he was.
Wait a minute. Who was the guy? I thought that Coach was the older guy.
He looked like an old white guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a Native American.
Oh, gotcha.
In the very last episode, Sam goes, played by, what's his name? Ted Danson. Danson.
I was going to say, you just said it. Sam Malone.
Sam Malone. He goes over and him and, what's his name? Wow, I can't think of my man's name. Norm. Hey, Norm. And he's talking to him, and Norm's just talking to him, and he's like, and so Norm leaves. After they have a little conversation, and Sam's in there, last person, and someone comes and knocks on the door, and he goes, we're closed. And, I'm starting to kind of tear up a little bit when I'm watching this.
Yeah.
Because I know it's the last episode, and you see him just kind of looking around. He walks over, that picture is under a light, and he straightens the picture, and just walks out the back door.
Dude.
It was a great ending.
Did you ever watch that show?
I caught a couple episodes growing up, but
Love
I guess
that
I was just
show.
too young for it.
Yeah.
Well, also, had the spinoff Frasier, of course, from it.
Kelsey Grammer,
which I love that show.
It's
too.
one of the few spinoffs that become
really good,
iconic too.
Yeah, in fact, because you're thinking to yourself, "Wow, you're really gonna milk this thing for another show, based on Cheers?"
Yeah.
It's so strong, you forget that he was part of Cheers and not his own thing.
Yeah.
And actually was probably a bigger part of his career than Cheers was.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
But, man, what a great bunch, man. Cliff, Norm. Dude, Cliff was one of my favorites, though, because he always tried to come across like he was the man.
Yeah.
He knew everything, and he could do everything. And no matter what you did, well, hate to brag here, Sammy boy, and he would have this bull crap story.
He was the postman.
He was the postman.
He was.
Do you remember that the best Cliff Clavin moment? And it was a martial art moment.
Cliff Clavin.
This guy was going to take and beat him up. And Cliff said, he goes, I can't. I'm a black belt in karate, and my hands are registered as lethal weapons. And the guy says, I'll give you permission. I'll write it out. It'll be fine. And he backs off and ends up, cowering to the bully and walking out. And everybody was just heartbroken to see this grown man be bullied and embarrassed in front of his world, because it wasn't just some guys he knew. This is where he was every day.
Yeah.
And you're just like, everybody hated the bully for doing it. It's like, why? You are an awful person. And the guy's like, what? Come on, that's no big deal. The guy's all mouth. Cliff comes walking back down the stairs, and you're like, what? Dude, he must have just said, I can't take it. And he comes back up and he says, I know that you guys all thought that I left because I was scared, and that I'm just lying about being a black belt. Hold this, Sammy. And he takes and pretends like he's gonna break. I think it's a board or a brick. And he goes, what are you gonna do? He goes, I'm gonna break this brick and this board and all. He goes, what? Don't do it, right? No, you do this. He goes, Sammy. And he breathes, and everybody's quiet. Like, he goes, I'm not scared of you. I don't want to hurt you. And he breaks all of it. And the place goes nuts. Like, he was not lying. And he goes up to the guy like, he goes, now it's your turn. The guy goes, no, and walks off. And everybody's like, way to go. And he leaves, and he goes, Sam, he goes, do me a favor. Could you call an ambulance? Yeah. He goes, why? He goes, I think I broke my head, my hand, and my foot. He goes, you don't know karate, do you? He goes, hell no.
It was awesome.
And they go, pow. Great show, though. And I remember after that show ended, they had all of Boston was there.
Yeah. That is an actual bar,
and it's an actual bar, and the whole world was there. It looked like Times Square.
It was actually on the Jay Leno show.
Yeah.
And Jay Leno was there,
and everybody was there, and all the cast is out. They're in the windows up top of the building and waving as everybody comes on, and you can tell in real life these people, they're all plastered. Kelsey Grammer's hanging out like, what's up, fellas? They're all drunk off their butts, dude.
Speaking about being a real bar, like, what was the name of the bar in How I Met Your Mother? Was it McCutcheon's?
Gosh.
It was an Irish pub.
It was right below there. It was right below their apartment.
I was heartbroken when I found out that's not a real place. I was like, if I ever go to New York, I'm going to that bar. And like,
hey, is Seinfeld Diner, is that a real place? I've always heard that they said, yeah, that's real.
Monk's. I think it's a real place, but it's not actually called Monk's.
And it doesn't look like that, right?
I think it actually does look pretty much like that.
Okay. Gilligan's Island's real.
Yeah. Been there.
The Lost Island.
It took me a long time to get back.
Bob Denver just died again.
Yes. Yes, he did.
In 2005, and then this week with all the other actors.
There was one other show I did want to mention. I never actually watched it, but my brother absolutely loved it. The Sopranos.
I didn't watch it.
Terrible ending. And it's good that you brought it up. It needed to be on here.
I mean, that's one of those things.
You never watched it?
Nah, but I know about the ending. It got a lot of news for that.
Oh, gosh. That was one of the shows that I heard had the biggest flack ever. People were just diehard fans of that show.
I remember that Howard Stern, if you've ever listened to him,
no one listens to him but you.
Really?
That's totally not true.
Love you, Howard. First time caller, long time listener.
Calm down again. Gosh.
But they were talking about
First time listener, long time caller.
And everybody had their own theories, and they were arguing.
Oh yeah.
This sucks. Who wrote this? Why would you do this? And it's sad because
for those who don't know, it ends with a black screen and nothing.
And the whole thing is left up to you to, hey, did he die? Did Vinny die? Whatever.
And they come up with some cop out excuse. They're like, oh well, the characters just keep on living. You just
don't know. Yeah. That's lame.
Yeah.
And then they're playing the song by Journey and stuff. You're like, did he die?
Which song?
Was it Don't Stop Believing?
No. Because I was like, is there another one? I was like, I didn't see how that'd be appropriate to that show, but I didn't know.
I love that song, but their Journey's good, dude. They got more than that. Come on in.
Well, every time there's a political race, we got to hear that song.
Oh, yeah.
There's a couple I wasn't really felt good or bad. I was kind of undecided, like Breaking Bad. Like, did you like the ending of Breaking Bad?
Okay,
he doesn't even know what this is.
I've seen the first part of the first season,
so
don't spoil it for me by telling me.
All right.
What about Daredevil? The end of Daredevil.
Loved it.
Yeah.
I thought
what's not to like about that?
I thought they took a little too long getting the suit. They
100%. No, I agree. They took too long, but I give them a little bit of leeway, thinking that they're going to have that suit for a bunch of seasons.
Yeah, that's why I don't think that at all. I mean, but did you want to give it to him his first suit?
I don't know. That's just kind of one of the questions I had. Like, they could have gave it to him 8 episodes in or something.
They could have. But I don't think that really killed it for me. I'll be honest.
It didn't kill it. No.
I don't know if I really even like the way the suit turned out.
I kind of don't either.
It looks good on a pop vinyl.
Yeah, it does. It looks good on a pop vinyl. Good pop funk keychain.
Yeah.
Yes.
Your keychains, did you get 3 of them?
Of
Daredevil.
Yes, I did.
I watch your podcast.
Yes. I would like to sell one of those too.
But I'll tell you what, I loved how it ended, where he faces off in an alley with the Kingpin. Yeah. And then it made sense why, that this is, because you're thinking he's a superhero. Why is he having a hard time fighting a normal guy, even if he's a big guy?
Mm-hmm.
But this is a psychotic man who's a mountain.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was good.
Yeah.
It was good.
I mean, I love the fight scenes in that, and how, to me, he was a regular guy who got tired during fight scenes.
Yeah.
Not a guy who could fight for 45 minutes and still like go run a marathon.
I'll tell you what,
I
though.
love that.
And I did not like how he got tired in that one scene, like
Come
in
on,
the
that
apartment.
was a great scene.
That
I
was
love
too
that.
Dude,
tired.
he just fought what, 4 or 5 guys?
I don't care. I don't want him to be that tired.
But it was all like one painting shot that never cut away. I was like, that's awesome.
That was neat.
I mean, like he went into the one room and he sees a body come flying.
that
then
was
he
cool.
comes back out. I was like, that was awesome.
I also, the only other thing about that show, I didn't like how Stick was a bad guy almost.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
You know, they kind of made him as an antithesis to, you know, what he was trying to do. I was like, what?
Antithesis. Trey, what does that mean? That's what I was thinking, but I wasn't sure.
Thank you, Dre.
Thanks for confirming.
But
Yes, I mean, it wasn't bad for me by any stretch of the imagination. It was just like one of those things like,
I would have
Could've got
liked
the
the
suit
suit
longer.
earlier.
Yeah.
And I would have, and I hate to say it,
I
I like
had no
a better
problem
suit.
with it. I mean, it's not like Smallville where it's in at the very end of the series.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, now, what do you think about the Daredevil suit here versus the one that Ben Affleck wore, the red leather?
I didn't like anything about that movie.
You didn't even like the suit?
I
thought the
scratched
suit
it
looked
from
good.
my memory.
Nah.
No, because that's when they were doing like the X-Men and the Daredevil with those big bulky leather suits. Like they have to have something to protect themselves in a fight. So let's give them this huge suit that they can't even move in.
Yeah, it's true.
I
Okay, if you're talking about Daredevil 2, you got to finish up. What did you think about how Jessica Jones ended?
You know, I don't know. Remind me how it ended.
Oh, really? Let me tell you, I watched that thing because of your recommendation.
Yeah.
You were like, oh,
I enjoyed
I'm in.
it. No, I enjoyed it. It was on Docs, right? When she took out
Yeah, when she took out the guy.
Kilgrave. Yeah.
Kilgrave.
Yeah, I did like that. That was nice.
Yeah.
That was good because I was like, so many things they would say, like Batman doesn't kill.
Uh-huh.
Jessica Jones does.
Yep. Yep.
That's a neck snapping chikorito, man.
Yeah.
She would take you out.
I'm just
I
kind of
thought
sad
ended
that his
good.
character's dead because that was an awesome character.
That,
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I love that almost probably more than
That
Daredevil.
character was
that
phenomenal.
storyline was better.
That was pretty cool.
She was scared
Yeah. Oh yeah.
and tortured. And if you read the comics, I know what they were trying to make out like. In the comic books, not only is she under his powers, but she's under his powers for like 6 months, and nobody was even looking for her.
Yeah.
So she was essentially a complete slave, and of course, this guy's a sexual deviant.
Yeah.
So every day she knew what she was doing, but she was essentially raped for, every single day, multiple times for months. And this is a powerful woman too. Somebody who can do something about it, and she can't. She goes, all these powers, and I can't stop a thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
dude.
Wow.
Oh, that was rough. But the way that thing ended, fantastic.
Yeah, it was great.
Hey, good episode, man. I love
Oh,
talking
there's
about all
one more
these
thing I've got to talk about.
Almost a great finished episode.
It's a slight little bit of comic book corner.
Okay.
And I just heard this today. DC is going to reboot their universe again.
Dude,
Again?
I just heard that, and I was hoping. I was like, you know
And
what? I'm not going to hear this.
Here's my thing. You've got these characters, Marvel and DC. Marvel has just done the same thing.
Oh, wait, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Did they?
they just start off with #1s on everything. They about killed their entire universe, just restart everything.
Good gracious.
What storyline did they kill everything? Was that the Secret Wars storyline?
No, it was before that.
Oh, okay.
But it was like it was kind of like mid that.
Okay.
But I mean, like Wolverine, they had a whole thing for him, and Fantastic Four, whole thing for them. But for me, it's like you've got these characters for some of them 70, almost 80 years, and they're both rebooting everything.
Why do they want to
I
do
have
that?
a
Just to start
huge issue with this.
Is it
I
just
do
to start?
too.
Is it just to start the issue numbers over again?
That's
No.
honest. No, and I will say this: I honestly think that is part of it. Number
Why?
one sell,
Oh, you know what? That's true.
and a lot of people's like, well, let's start over. I can start at #1. Like, okay, Batman started in 1939 or 38.
Yeah.
Superman and
And do you know how many #1 Batmans there are?
No.
the New 52 that started in 2011 or 2012. That #1 for Batman is going for about $200-300 now.
Which one?
The #1 for the New 52 Batman.
It's going for that much?
Yeah.
Dude, I got a bunch of those.
No, you don't. but all these it's driving me nuts. Like, why can't I can see if you have a new creative team, and I still disagree with them. Let's start up #1.
Yeah.
I mean, this is one thing that I've had a
I
huge
don't
issue
like
with
that
since I
either.
heard this for DC,
Yeah.
and I've also heard Marvel. They just rebooted, and what I don't get, some characters last year started with a #1, is already on another run starting from number 1.
Yeah, it makes
Like
no
who?
sense.
One of them was Spider-Girl. One of them was Spider-Gwen, excuse
Spider-Gwen.
me.
I hate that crap anyway. Spider-Gwen.
The unbeatable, and I still love this one, the unbeatable Squirrel Girl.
Yeah.
I mean, she had a character way back. I can understand if you end something, 15 years later you restart with number 1. But if you have an ongoing series, again, like Batman, like the Detective Comics, Spider-Man, all these things, why do you do this?
Yeah.
I mean, you can change stuff within the comic and keep it going.
Yeah, it makes no difference if you're on issue 700 or issue 3.
But I really believe they do it so we can say, let's start a new number 1.
Let's buy one.
I really do believe they're doing that. And I have a
tell you, that
huge
stinks.
issue with this.
Because I was against the new 52
Yeah.
when they came out. And I was
Yeah.
like, why are you doing that? Don't do that.
Now, some of them in the new 52 is really good. I remember you talking about Aquaman.
Loved it.
Like the Batman's pretty good. My favorite is Harley. Not very good compared to the 2000s. Not at all.
Dude, the Justice League, that one I absolutely loved. Like when they had all of them, because they were tying in all the stories.
They're in right now the Dark Side Wars. And it's really good, the Justice League with that.
Oh, dude, I'm telling
They're
you.
up to like number 7, and it's great. And they had a few like one-shots with Batman, Shazam, and a few of the other characters. Great series. But don't do that. Just let it run. Let the issues run.
I saw a thing, and it was a fan-made Marvel versus DC on Facebook yesterday. Did you happen to see that?
Is it animated?
Yeah, it's
I did not see this.
computer animated.
Yeah.
Did you've got to see
That's
it.
a great little fight.
What's
yeah.
it called?
I think I linked it to you a while back, a few months ago.
I must have missed it.
Dude, I'm telling you, if I can find it,
Thor versus Superman. I mean, it's like they're in a city and they're just all battling all at once.
yeah, it looks like War World, you know? It's
Yeah.
like, here we go, man. And it was good because they had Deadpool versus, what is it, Deadshot?
Maybe.
You know, but all these guys were matched up with their, answer in the other one. Green Lantern against Iron Man, Flash versus Quicksilver. But they did it like the cinematics they do in a video game. Fantastic.
Yeah, it was really good.
I
It
gotta
was
look
really
that up.
good.
That does sound awesome.
Yeah.
It's another thing like we were talking about with cosplays. How come the cosplay
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Apocalypse looks better than the movie one?
Yeah.
That movie, dude, that little animated thing, if they did a movie like that, dude,
Okay,
huge.
that brings
Huge.
me, when you said that, because I forgot to mention this, Doomsday in Smallville. That was horrible.
That was ridiculous. Even that whole character's idea
that was
stupid.
horrible.
You know what? I almost forgot about it because I deleted it.
Yeah.
But it was like, nah, that don't.
Because that was just one of those things I remember absolutely hating. And then you talking about cosplay, so like, it reminds me of the Batman, Superman. It's like, this looks horrible too.
Oh, hated it. Hated the whole thing where they had all the Kryptonians coming back and they were gonna have Zod. And it's stupid.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know if it's the technology that's gotten better, but I think the budgets for shows are much better too because it's like
Look at the
Flash.
Flash.
Flash now. Flash, the characters look great.
Hey, what channel is that on?
CW.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Yep, that's my one CW. That's the one I give a pass to.
That's
You-
good,
you don't
right?
watch Arrow?
No.
Arrow's good.
Arrow's good. Arrow's really good. But the thing is, I would have thought that Flash was still playing catch up. That's the #1 show on CW right now.
Oh, really?
Did you see the other, what's the other show that just come out for DC?
Legends of Tomorrow.
I actually enjoyed the first season.
Oh, I loved it. And I'll tell you what.
The 2 guys from Prison Break?
Yes.
That's the first thing I noticed on that.
My wife was like, I guess they finally got out of prison.
I broke it.
Hey, so you can still got that
It
tattoo.
looks
on
like
his
they're
back?
heading back the way the path they chose.
Yeah.
Tell you what, it's another one. If you want to watch something with your son, my son, and I really love it.
Yeah. I love that first episode.
I love it because my wife too is so into them. You know, she's like, oh yeah, man. Krista is all into the Flash, Shield, Arrow, Legends of Tomorrow. I mean, she's like, yeah, put it on, man. Let's watch it.
Did you see the
Smallville is what did it.
the Kevin Smith show with all the basically the promo for DC movies?
I taped it and I said, I don't know if I can watch it. I don't want to spoil too much of the stuff.
But I will say this: they gave a little view of Wonder Woman's movie.
Looks pretty cool.
Dude, and so I knew they did a
It'll be
little bit with
good.
Aquaman and the first look at Cyborg. I'll tell you the thing.
That's my son's guy, Cyborg. He loves Cyborg.
You see, I don't.
Really?
Yeah, no, I don't. Well, I wasn't.
Is it from Teen Titans?
Yeah.
Teen Titans Go. Is that why he likes it?
Yeah.
Now, I like that version.
I love that show.
I love that show.
I'm like too old to like that show, but doggone, it's awesome.
I got a 4-year-old, so I have an excuse. But they have just such
I act like a
hilarious
4-year-old, so that's fine.
Like one day they were like reminiscing about memories in their attic, and they got like one box that's like Dawn of Justice, then they got Afternoon of Justice, then they got Dusk of Justice. It's just little stuff that the kids aren't gonna get. You're like, that's for us,
dude. That's well done, man. But
nice Easter egg.
Cyborg was like, honestly, it was written in after I already went from DC to Marvel, so I never really followed him. And I've seen him in a couple of the movies, animated movies and stuff. But he's not just. I've never connected with him.
They had a Lego one. We were watching this with my kid too. It was a Lego Batman.
I'm glad how I just threw the kid in there, just like it wasn't just for him.
Well, yeah. But what's that one villain? Is it like Batmite or something like that?
Batmite.
Let me tell you, I love Batmite.
Well, he caught all the Justice League and he had them in this prison. And Batman's like, I'm not gonna help you guys out. And so he's like, I'll kill him. You better help him out. He's like, no, they can figure this out. And
is this on a video game?
No, it's an animated Lego movie. Like they're all made of like Lego stuff.
I'll watch it. It's
so
pretty good.
So they're like, like Flash is super speed running, trying to break out. Superman's using his powers, trying to break out. Wonder Woman's trying to break out. They can't get out of this prison. And they're like, he's getting ready to destroy him. And it's like, nope, they can do it. I'm not helping him out. And Batmite's like, fine, I'll blow him up. And it shows him escape. And Cyborg's like, you said it's not related to our power, so he just like pushes the door open and walks out. I lost my mind.
It was hilarious.
It's so funny about Batmite. I remember the first time I ever saw him was in the old cartoon, I think in the 70s with Batman. And I thought that was the neatest thing as a kid. And then I found out that they didn't make him for the cartoon. He was drawn into the comics back in the day, like in the old, before they even did color, pages.
Really?
I was like,
I did not
what?
know.
Yeah,
Wow,
dude.
that's cool.
Awesome stuff. So I tell you what, man.
One thing we haven't talked about. I have to. Last thing. I have to bring
not
this up.
done yet.
I've been wanting to talk about this since before Christmas, and we've never gotten a chance. Is the Batman and Ninja Turtles comic book?
Oh yeah.
I'm loving this comic book.
Yeah. Number 2's out.
Still haven't read it. Good.
The story, the artwork, everything is good. Like they're giving both of them justice.
Yeah.
They're playing to Batman's detective side. They're playing to the Turtles' brother camaraderie. It's an awesome comic.
Isn't it funny how something so extreme, if they do it right, play it straight, man.
I have a grin on my face the entire time reading it.
Oh, I'm getting that.
There's some panels in that you could just frame it.
You know what? I hate to say this. It's funny you said before Christmas. I think I bought it. And because it was like Christmas Eve, I bought it for myself and I stowed it away and I haven't looked at it.
Oh, man.
I thought, Connor, don't.
The last comic had a Splinter facing off against Batman. I was like, oh, yes.
Because he sent me a text. No one touches Splinter.
You don't mess with Master Splinter.
Nobody.
It's really good. I mean, for me, the one, if I just had to pick one panel that I think is great, is you see Batman looking over, you see the Batmobile down below, and the turtles are surrounding it. I'm just like, that's the last panel. Well, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but it could be the last panel.
I'm not listening to you. I actually I disengaged.
What about it?
That'd be a good podcast episode. Strongest single panels in comics.
Okay.
That would be, because I've got a couple that I'm like, dude, that literally helped me through tough times sometimes in my life. I'm not ending it.
You're not?
You're someone
Dre,
else.
you want to end it for us?
Good time, guys.
Yeah, that's a good idea, Dre. I could use some pizza right now.
I like Show Enough.
Show enough.
Shut up.
By the way, I still want that as pop vinyls.
Yeah, me
Show
too.
enough.
Dude, that'd be awesome.
That'd be awesome. Bruce Leroy.
I'd buy both of them. I met him. He said I was number one and you weren't.
I think he said someone else was number one.
I've heard stories.
I've heard lots of stories. I wasn't there. You were.
It's true.
It's all true. True story. Anyway, that's all we got for tonight.
That's it.
Yeah, good time, guys.
And if you guys have any comments, let us know, because I know there's a ton of shows out there. I'm sure we missed many of them. If you guys like the comic book starting over, let us know, or hate it, let us know. Just let us know something.
Talk to us, please.
Please put a comment down.
Remember to comment on your martial art movies, too.
Yes, martial art movies. That's right. Next week, we'll do martial art movies. So many to choose from.
Oh, I love that. It's a good topic.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. I see you guys
That's
next week. That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
And everyone have an incredible day.
Later.